Hey, it's Friday. So regarding yesterday, which I was, talking about, I was struggling a little bit with getting, my head in the game being, my novel. I was able to go to, kind of like pass through this and, go back to have to be like very productive in the novel. Not that productivity is like the goal here. I want to finish it, but I also want, quality. So, I don't want to rush anything. But yesterday I was able to get my head, back together. Get all the different parts of my brain. They were like all scattered. Also, like I think that yesterday my brain was like that because I was waiting for like a response of something very relevant that had to do with like my livelihood. So I was a little anxious, and I think that got in the way of me, just functioning. But today I woke up having a response, and it was positive. So I am, relaxed. I am, pretty chill. It's like that being taken care of. And now, so today, like the goal is for me to just, like advance the novel. I want specifically to, if I had no ideas, like sure, let's go. But I want to kind of like give continuity to like the chapters that like they're still like halfway, done. Like I want to kind of like connect the different parts of the novel, and I think this is kind of like more doable because for you to write something new, you need some level of, of inspiration, and for you to just connect things. Sometimes you need inspiration for you to create something new to connect the two sides, but sometimes you just need to fill in the blanks. So that's kind of like what I think I'll be focusing today. And but if I have no ideas, as I said, I will give them voice and I will write them down. But today has everything to be a good day. We have in the afternoon we'll be busy. We're not gonna be at home. Have some errands to run. We're gonna visit an elderly lady from my mom's church, and then we're gonna go around a little bit too. And then I have my swimming lesson. So we're gonna be kind of like we're gonna leave like around 1 or 1:15, and then we're gonna get home. It'll probably be like near 6. Yeah, it'll be around actually no around like 5. Yeah, between 5:30 and 5. Oh no, that my brother has class today, so it's probably going to be over after 6. And then I'll have a couple hours for me to work on the novel if I'm still feeling like it. And and honestly I think that's something very positive about my head right now is that I'm able to use like these little gaps of these little moments I have, these little spaces of time during my day, between me doing things, which is something that historically I have struggled with. I kind of like I needed a lot of time for me to get going, and that's why when I was got to that point, I would just want to continue, to just push, continue pushing until like I kind of like exhausted myself because I was struggling with consistency. But like this past week, there's been a lot of consistency in my life, and also I think like the medication I'm taking, it is pretty good. It is working out pretty well, and as a consequence, like my head is stable. It's pretty, everything is in the right place, you could say. But that was yesterday, and then my plans for today. And apart from like those two, I've been having some recurring regarding like the fantasies. They're kind of like coming back every once in a while, and they are kind of like plaguing me a little bit, but I've been able to just push them in a way, which is kind of like everything I need to do, like better than like not having fantasy. It's like having fantasy and being able to just push it away, and that is pretty much like what's been happening. And also like the things in fantasy, they're not like as appealing. They're still appealing to me, but they're not like as intrinsically kind of like entrenched in my brain. So when I kind of like push them away, or I kind of like just force the realization that this is not happening, this won't happen, and this has never happened. Like it is not. I'm not so attached, so it's easier for me to just kind of like do without them. So that's been kind of like a positive too. And once again, like it is better for for something to happen and you to be able to work with it, work through it, than for that thing not to happen at all. Like not happening at all is what I wanted, but that's just not realistic. As I said, particularly with something that was so ingrained in my brain. But as I said, yesterday was a good example. Like right now was like a good example. I had like some ideas that were kind of like floating around, and then I was eventually be like, okay, stop this, I'm gonna go back to writing. So I think that's that. My head is doing pretty well, compared to at other points in time, and my head is pretty stable too. I think, as I said, that the medication is working, and then the thing is just like how long it's going to work, because like it inevitably it gets to this point where if whatever like I'm thinking stops working, at least like in the way that I'm thinking, and then you have to shift things around and you add something new sometimes. And I'm just hoping that this is not, it's going to take, it will be a while until like that happens. But yeah, that's it for today. Bye.